Hi, it's Reverend Paul Sladkis. I'm speaking with Reverend Tomasz Trafny. Hi, how are you?
Fine, thank you.
The Reverend is with the Vatican. He's the Pontifical Council for Culture. Tell us about that aspect of the Vatican. What do you all do?
Well, our Pontifical Council has a lot of activities aimed at promoting dialogue between different areas of modern society, contemporary society, related to the church. I mean, arts, aesthetic in general, science and faith, media, all of these aspects that are extremely developed, and as we can see, they are still evolving. They are very interesting and very important for our activities. Well, at the Pontifical Council, I am in charge of the Department of Science and Faith. So we try to follow most recent scientific discoveries and research in order to understand how deep impact they could have on culture and how many insights they could provide for theological or philosophical reflection.
Wonderful, wonderful. Well, you're the Pontifical Council for Culture and a company, a public company, actually on Amex, NeoStem, have partnered to advance adult stem cell research. Okay, it's very wonderful outreach. And tell us a little bit how you got involved and where you see it all going.
Well, first of all, we follow with great attention discoveries in medical field. One of them, of course, is related to this big controversy on stem cells research, especially on embryonic stem cells research. As you know, we have very clear position on that kind of research, and we look for solutions that could be alternative for embryonic stem cells research and adult stem cell research, and particularly the vessel technology that acquired by NeoStem is very interesting. So our main interest is to study it, to improve our knowledge, to advance the research, and to address a very clear message that the Church is not against science. There is no antagonism between scientific research and Christian faith. That's why we need to link scientists and even to create network of collaborations to show that we can run together, we can influence each other, and we can promote each other a lot of initiatives.
I think it's wonderful to the reality of stem cell research and learning more, and the possibility here. We are going to have the CEO, Dr. Robin Smith, joining us shortly. And they have some technology here. They call it Vesel, V-S-E-L. And I'll just mention it at this point to our audience. A very small embryonic stem cells, which form the basis of cell technology, have physical characteristics typically found in the embryonic stem cells, including the ability to differentiate into specialized cells found in different types of tissues that would be able to interact with the specific organ, this is important, in order to repair degenerated, damaged, and diseased tissues. So healthier, happier life is good news, isn't it, Reverend?
It is. Of course, team of Professor Tajcek who discovered this technology is still working on proving it, and we still we want to study deeper and deeper, not only the technology, but to explore all research that is related to atom stem cells research and study. So we are open to to welcome in our team other scientists. I mean, leading scientists from that field. We are open to establish new connections and collaborations with other institutions, universities, if they want to help us to understand significance and the meaning of their results, if they help us to change this vision of antagonism between science and religion. So we still look for new collaborations, and we are open for new initiatives.
I guess the beauty here is in that the church is open in essence for what potentially can be helpful in the way they see and you all see for human beings here. It's not in essence a closed door policy. You evaluate each in essence for the world about you and the Catholic community, let's say as well specifically. Science that you believe is the right kind of science for the peoples. Do I have that right?
Of course, we look for results that, especially in medical field, avoid all moral and ethic dilemmas. So that's why we focus our attention on adult stem cells research. That's why we look for leading scientists that perform this kind of research instead of involve ourselves in embryonic stem cells. In long-term strategy, we want to build a big network of collaboration among different institutions and different branches of knowledge that could help us to update, religious leaders, bishops, pastors, that could help us to develop practical instruments for them. For the pastoral activity. People, regular people, believers, they know what kind of teaching we have. They know perfectly what is the Catholic teaching about, but a lot of them want to understand why. Why they should act in such way instead of another way. And they ask our pastors. And so we want to develop instruments for them and to make them capable to provide for valuable answers.
Well, I think it's very it's good to have beliefs, and as I mentioned when we started, I'm actually an interfaith minister and I'm a reverend, and so I'm a believer in religion and the good that it does, and each religion. I actually was brought up Jewish. And each religion has their beliefs in how to conduct themselves, how to deal with scientific related minded things, and are the bodily functions of human beings, and it's good to have I'm not going to say rules and regulations, but to have an agreement with the religion, and then it's of course always in religion it's people's desire whether they want to agree to that aspect of the religion or are not. It's a personal choice always. Religion is still someone's decision on whether to involve themselves, and then what goes along with what the religious organizations or the customs denote, right?
Well, we should think that science and religion, they need to each other. Science and faith are complementary to each other, and to avoid a situation when especially young people have an impression that they live in some kind of double world, spiritual when they perform religious celebrations from time to time, and the regular life, daily life, when they are immersed in scientific and technological realities. So some of them, even parents, complain that they see their children, they have some kind of double word or schizophrenic vision of their life. So an important thing is to provide for an interpretation that would be coherent and that would give a very clear vision that spirituality doesn't, exclude scientific approach to the life.
Well, I agree very much with your comments here. The thought of spirituality and science and what somebody might see as spirituality and or beliefs, that's sort of a higher authority that I know one doctor is well known here, and on his prescription pad he says, love, L-O-V-E, right? So love is, in essence, it's medical, it's scientific, it's we don't necessarily even know how and why and where, and some people say it's even stronger than gravity. It's a nice marriage of spirituality and science and religion. I'm very much a believer in it all. It's very beautiful, and for the church to come out and to share this and this part of what you all do, and I'm sure this isn't a new area for the church. A lot of times I think we don't see, and especially unfortunately in the media, and since I am in the religion area as well, and we even have a name, Good News, right, to us, and people are always saying, are you a Christian broadcaster? And I always say we're non-sectarian. We believe in all and love all the religions of the world, and it's just the point of, let's be happy to be alive, and the positiveness, and to spread the good news, whether it's not a religious comment. We're just also fortunate, and the church is a real leader, and thank you very much for sharing your thinking and thoughts. How do people get involved with your outreach here? I know you mentioned the priests and so on and so forth. Do people go to their priests and discuss things like this? Or they've heard about this outreach of the organization and the Pontifical Council for Culture and discuss it with them? Do they have at the churches, it makes good sense to sit down and have discussions meet at the church?
Well, there are different ways. Our involvement in science, the Pontifical Council's involvement in science, is the consequence of 2000 year when Pope John Paul II wanted to gather scientists for the Jubilee year, and at that occasion, some of them asked if there would be any possibility to meet each other and to talk about the relationship between scientific community and the church. That's Cardinal Poupard, the former president of our Pontifical Council, started to gather people. But in meantime, we received a lot of questions from different bishop conferences, where they were asking how we should explain the relationship between, for example, evolutionary theory and creation, how we should teach about the relationship between science and faith, what we should say to our believers. So it gave us opportunity to establish groups of professors that started to explore this field, and we extend our invitation to the people who are not even believers, but they are experts in their own field, and they contributed to first to set up a research project, and then to provide for answers. Of course, we have no all answers that people ask for, but this is a long-term process. We need to explore, to study, to improve our knowledge, and to see what kind of answer we can provide for. And the most important thing is that we started to talk to each other. Scientists talk to us, and we talk to scientists. There is no separation between us. And this is in some way a fulfillment of the wish and a deep intuition that John Paul II had. I don't know if you remember that in 1988 he addressed a letter to the director of the Vatican Astronomical Observatory, Father George Coyne. And in the end of this letter, Pope said, well, science can purify religion from error and superstition, and the religion can purify science from idolatry and false absolutism. And this is a deal. I mean, this is a part of our mission. We want. This is what we want to do.
Okay. Well, thank you so much, Reverend, for sharing these very important thoughts. Does the Vatican have a website, or does your Pontifical Council for Culture, do you have a website, places that people can go to?
Well, there is official Vatican website. Mm-hmm. You can reach it on www.vatican.ea. This is official Vatican website in different languages: French, Italian, Latin, Portuguese, Spanish, English, Deutsch, and Chinese. So a lot of content you can find out over there. Official teaching and our activities, and different organizations that are linked to the Vatican. They have their own website, so you can easily reach them. In any case, if you need more information on that, the assistant of Dr. Smith has all details, so she can email to you. So I think we can stay in touch, and
I would like to do that. Okay.
Emails.
That sounds wonderful. Let's see how we can continue to get the good news out there. and then share it with the world. Okay, Reverend, thank you very much. I don't know if Dr. Smith is available now, or we're gonna...
I'm here.
Oh, hey, hi.
How are you?
How are you?
Thank you.
So I guess you do have a moment now to speak. I know you were in another interview previously.
No problem.
Excellent. Okay, you're the CEO of NeoStem, and congratulations.
Yeah, we're very excited.
And this is a very exciting time, I imagine, for you with this new partnership with the Pontifical Council for Culture. How did that come about?
I think when people have consistent initiatives, somehow paths cross, and we were introduced and realized that we're both looking for the same things, maybe coming from different angles, and we just got excited about working together to help educate people on the benefits of adult stem cells and move some adult stem cell therapies forward more quickly.
Oh, I love it. Actually, our one of our mottos here is all we are is what we are for each other. So everybody can win in things like this that you're involved with, as well as the church is involved with. So tell us a little bit about the science of what this cell, the SEL, as well as whatever else. I know you have other areas. So tell us about your company and what are you working on?
Sure. Well, our company really came out of two things: the cord blood company and the regular, or for the last 40 years, use of stem cells for bone marrow transplantation. And what we realized is that we all have circulating stem cells in our body. They're laying dormant in our bone marrow, and that in particular, there are remnants of when we were embryos to create the people that we are today that are sitting there in our bone marrow, and they're called very small embryonic-like stem cells. And we believe it's these stem cells that have the reparative properties similar to an embryonic stem cell, but you don't have to destroy a fetus to get to the cells because they're in adults like you and I.
That's good news. And Dr. Smith is actually, you're an MD, do I have that right, as well as you have an MBA, right?
Correct.
Which are both very handy, I think, one in the science and then the business of the science, because without any business with some of the science and the research and work that you're doing, it's not going to get out to the world. And I thank you and applaud you for getting this message out in the world, and along with the Vatican's thoughts. So,
I mean, we certainly don't have the reach, like the Vatican. So that's what's so exciting is there's just a long history of the importance of science and advancement. And so to us, this is such a unique and exciting opportunity. We're really humbled to have been chosen to do this with them.
The church has been very successful marketers in sharing the world. They've done, they've brought so many people and have gained so much in their lives because of the church. And I agree with you, and especially now with the science that you're involved with. When we were talking earlier about degenerated, damaged, and diseased tissues, it's not so nice to have those kinds of things. And if there's ways we can cure that, I'm sure that's your passion, isn't it?
Exactly.
Well, it's all very good. Is there other things that you'd like to share with our audience about your company? And is there an actual there's a foundation as part of your organization as well?
Yeah, absolutely. We are an American Stock Exchange company, so we're on the New York Stock Exchange Amex. And so, we felt it was very important to have a not-for-profit organization that can help advance some of the research that is ours or not ours, as well as to help people who maybe are first responders or who can't afford the sort of stem cell or adult stem cell therapies to be able to benefit from them. So we created the foundation about a year and a half ago, and this will be a source for educational activities for people who are less fortunate and can't afford things that they need in the stem cell space, and to have people better understand that adult stem cells are beneficial and aren't controversial, and that they don't have to feel like they're violating their ethical beliefs by supporting stem cell therapy and stem cell research. So we have a big mission ahead of us, and some of it, as a public company, we have responsibilities to our shareholders that there's a return on investment for where we spend our money. So we felt it important to have a separate STEM for Life Foundation that was not focused on investors, but yet focused on doing good and helping humanity.
And what areas do you see stem cells helping in? What illnesses?
For years, it's been used for cancers, leukemia, lymphoma, multiple myeloma, certain anemias. For what we're finding is the regenerative properties of stem cells is the way our body repairs all of our tissue. So if you could harvest enough of those stem cells or harness them and put them back into areas like heart disease, for your myocardium that gets damaged from infarcts and MIs, for stroke, MS, lupus. 50 million people suffer in the United States from autoimmune disorders, macular degeneration, hopefully some of the neurosciences like spinal cord injury, ALS, Parkinson's. These are all areas of possible benefits that you can see from stem cell therapy. And it's our hope, actually, that not only will you help prolong life, but that the quality of life people will have will be greater if their sort of organs and body parts are working, at a much higher functioning level than they were before they were damaged. So that's the hope.
That's the good news there. We were involved with a series called The Brain way back in the early 80s on Channel 13 public television. And it came up, and many people would write in. I think it was kind of early on, like in Parkinson's, we did a show on that, and people were saying, I had somebody contact me and said they're using stem cells and they're feeling kind of good about things like that. So it's a miracle, right?
No, it is. It absolutely is. And I think to some extent our meeting was a divine intervention, and things just happen that reasons you can't necessarily explain, and if they do good, that's what it's all about.
Beautiful. Okay, I know you're talking to a lot of people. Thank you for taking time to speak with us. If the Reverend is still on, I enjoyed his conversation. And you have a website here as well, right? neostem.com?
Exactly.
And people can find out more about you. And I look forward to meeting and seeing if there be more ways that we can to share this good news. Last question, what's good news for you?
What do you mean, what's good news for us?
For you, Robin, Doctor. What's good news for you personally at this point in your life, if you care?
I'm all about sort of helping people, right? As a physician, that's my goal. So, sometimes people say, do you feel badly that you don't see patients? But I feel like what I do is helping many, many patients and many people, and that it isn't necessarily a personal contact, but certainly my reach is greater than I ever could have imagined, and it's really a feel-good to be able to impact so many people's lives.
I'm sure it is. Okay, thank you very much for sharing your good news with us. Thank you.